Welcome back, Vagabonds, and welcome, Wanderers. I wanted to make another video to talk a little bit about, little more about DBD, since I've been doing a lot of DBD, and I've essentially just been doing DBD. not just for YouTube, though. A lot of YouTube DBD content. We're playing Survivor because killer queues right now are god-awful. Waiting 3 whole minutes and 4 whole minutes for content creation is not fantastic. But I wanted to talk about an idea I had, which is, very simply put, a character that a lot of people have been talking about and have been asking for of late, being Slenderman, which I think would actually be a good idea for a couple multiple reasons. And it doesn't have to specifically be Slenderman, right? Just in general, his concept. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because my idea for Slenderman's abilities could translate very well for Dead by Daylight, and could probably introduce something a little bit better for Dead by Daylight. So, the reason I say Slenderman is because the way he functions as an entity. Now, in terms of gameplay, what you could do is you have the pages scattered around the map, and what you could do with him essentially is introduce a kind of like a kind of split or buffs or nerfs for the survivor and killer. So say when the match starts, there are the 7 pages scattered across the map. As Slenderman, you would of course be able to warp to those. You would be able to see them, their auras, so that you know where they're at. He doesn't find me. Wow. I don't know how to go against this guy. I never see him. As usual, I'm playing as I'm giving commentary, and it's unscripted, so bear with me. One thing you can do is that, because then it would work with his kit. And let's say, for each page, the killer, or whatever the interactable is in this case, I'm just using Slenderman because if we're sticking to the Slenderman idea, that would be his IP, the pages scattered around the map. So say for each map that's still active, not collected, you have a token as the killer. For each token, you get a fairly significant buff. Let's say that your movement speed is like 4.4, even though you guys know I hate 4.4. Let's say your base movement speed is 4.4, but each page gives you a, I don't know, 1.5% haste. That would incentivize survivors actually interacting with your power. Because then it's like, hey, we gotta get his move speed down, so you have to collect the pages, and it would remove his ability to teleport around the map, yada yada yada. But whenever a survivor would collect a page, they would gain a token, and the token they have would reduce, let's say, gen repair speed by, again, 1.5% or what have you. So then every person has to split up the objective, everyone has to interact with it, everyone has to do something to benefit the team. Right. That's the ideal for me. I think something like that would be a good introduction. It would make people have to interact with the killer more, and it wouldn't just be a flat out, well, the killer doesn't get any benefit from the survivors interacting with their stuff, which is and will always be a horrible thing in this game. The plague is the prime example. Am I thinking of the right person? Plague? I think it's the plague. Where she can vomit on things. That's the prime example. Like, the biggest part of her kit is people interacting with her power. Well, the best counter for her is to just not interact with her power. That's lame. That's stupid. There's no incentive for you to play the killer and use the power. You might as well play a different killer and be able to have unfettered access to your power. Like, why not just play Kaneki or, you know, Blight, Nurse, whatever. And that's part of why the top characters are at the top, because there's no actual interaction with their powers. they just get unfettered access to their powers, which is good for the killer. Like, why would I want to play as a killer who just can't access their powers? Ridiculous. It's stupid. So I think that would be something where the survivor benefits from having their power up and should defend their power, and the survivors can interact with the power to remove those buffs, but then they are then subsequently hindered for interacting with the buffs. But if they don't interact, they don't get rid of the buffs for the killer. I think a back and forth like that would be really healthy for the game, and it would make people actually, you know, play the game proper. Compared to what we're seeing now, which is a whole load of bupkis. Let me know what you guys think. I think that would be a good idea. Just something, we need something that's more interactable. We need something where he's just camping. We need something where both sides have interaction, both sides have some form of game they have to play. And that kind of that kind of works with what's going on right now with the Angel who's coming out. Dang it. I shouldn't have gone for him. I should have just left. That's kind of what's going on for the Angel right now, right? Is that she'll send someone to that other realm, and then the other survivors have to interact with the shrine to get them out. Otherwise, they have to do a collectathon. Like, that's going in a good direction. I kind of wish other survivors didn't interact in that way, because it just encourages Swifts more. Which I think my idea for the pages would also encourage Swifts, but in a healthier way of, like, now you have the communication to say, hey, I have 3 pages, someone else has to get these pages, or else I'm not going to be able to repair fast at all. And then have some HUD asset to be like, okay, you as the survivor can see I have so many pages, the killer can see I have so many pages. That would make it so that the killer just wouldn't
That's like calling 1-800 collect an ass whooping. And no, that ain't no toll-free call.
Nice plays. The killer wouldn't tunnel out that person because you're not repairing fast enough. I'm not worried about you because you have these debuffs on you that makes you repair slower, so I don't have to worry about the objective as much, so I'm not going to go after you. Even if I've gone after you before, you're making it very obvious to me that you are not as much of a threat. I'm not going to tunnel you out. Same for, like, other things, too, of, like, well, if it's spread out, then the killer has no reason to tunnel. There's no benefit having the pages. There's only a detriment. So it's like, well, someone has 4, 5, 6, or even all the pages. Why would I go after that person? Because there's no benefit to it. It would incentivize that killer, and in this case Slenderman, doing something else. Let me know what you guys think about the Slender idea. I know this is a really short video. I'm still working on my Donkey Kong 64 upload. I'm still debating on if it should just be a raw upload because that's a lot of footage to go through. That's part of why I slowed down streaming so I could actually record smaller bursts for YouTube because I get really demotivated really easily. But if you guys want to see Donkey Kong 64, that is coming up. That wasn't stream exclusive. I do have the whole VOD. I will be uploading it. But let me know what you guys think about the Slenderman idea or Slenderman adjacent idea where their objectives that both sides interact with can be removed to then debuff the killer, but then also debuff the survivor. Then it evens the playing field. There's interaction across the board. Everybody's happy. That's how I feel like it would go. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I also do want to see more map interaction with things like pallets and such. The hook interaction with Jason is interesting. We'll see what happens when he actually releases, if he's actually worth all the hype, or if people are just fanboy gooning all over the place, and he's not actually that good. We'll see what happens. He comes out fairly shortly here, but thank you guys again for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe if you want to see more Dead by Daylight videos, either my gameplay or just short spiels or long spiels that I've made before. Check out my other videos on the channel. I have them playlists apart. I also do other video games. I've been thinking of recording other video games and not just Dead by Daylight, but we'll see where that goes. But thank you guys again so much for joining me. I'll catch you guys in the stream later. If you guys watch the stream, I'll have the link down in the description below on Twitch. And as always, wander well.